Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. As always, I'm your host, D-Beak. Today we will be recapping Bellator 264, which was headlined by Gegard Mousasi defending his championship against number one contender John Salter. Before we get into the action, as always, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can follow us at the handles to the left, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And as always, we are partnered with the Fighters First Network. All I ask for you to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then for this video, after you're done watching this, if you could hit the like button, share it to all your friends, and let them know that we're the best for MMA content. And as always, we also have merch out now. So all you got to do is go to fightersfirst.shop, scroll down to the Cage My IQ collection, and click the bar there, and then go check out our merch. We have one shirt out, which we have in 3 different styles, and then we also have a hoodie out right now with fall coming up in a month or two. That's the perfect gift to give to your friends who like MMA. Just give them one of our hoodies and have them check out one of our shirts. But as always, we are Cage by IQ. If you could let us know what you think of our merch, we greatly appreciate it. And if you let us know that you bought one of our stuff, just give us a shout out on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll give you a shout out on next week's show. But now moving on that to the action that we have on tap for Bellator 264. Let's get started with the first fight that we have on here. This was a great matchup. We had a middleweight matchup that saw Khadzhimurat Bestaev defeat Ty Gwerder by unanimous decision 29-28, 29-28. 29-28. This was kind of a shocker here, decision wise, because everybody, even myself, thought that Ty had won this fight, but the judges gave it to Bestaev. In this matchup, it was basically the height and then the length of Bestaev against the power and the wrestling of Gwerder. Early on, it was basically Ty unloading on Gwerder. Like he had the power shots. I think the problem with him, though, that made him slow down later on is the fact that every time he threw a shot, he would put all of his power into it. So instead of going with the quality, he was going power and quantity, and that worked out for the first round and a half. He had landed a shot on Bestaev in the first round that knocked him to the ground, and he just started unloading on him. But Bestaev was able to withstand that barrage and get back up. And towards the end of the round, he was able to land a few knees and a couple shots on him. And then in the second round, you could kind of see the change in of the fight, where Bestaev was still he was laying his knees and whatnot, but you still had Ty who was getting his wrestling going. He was able to take him down and start throwing shots on him. But then at one point, Bestaev was able to get back up and he started landing those knees and combinations on him, and then the high leg kicks to the head of Ty, who was starting to slow down at that point. I would have still kind of gave the round to Gwerder just a little bit because the power shots and the wrestling, because he was able to take him down twice and to control uh, Bestaev on the ground to the kind of like limit anything more. But then the third round, that was all Bestaev to me. He was just coming in with the knee. He would come in clinch, knee him in the head. Then he would break off. He would high leg kick a Ty in the head, and then he was just laying those combinations in the jab on him, and then he had him stunned in that third round. But once the fight ended and went to the judges' scorecard, and for some reason they saw the fight Bestaev 29-28 on all 3 cards where they thought he defeated Gwerder. I went the other way, but at the end of the day, in this middleweight matchup, Khadzhimurat Bestaev defeated Ty Gwerder by unanimous decision 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. If there's something I could take from this for Ty Gwerder to use for next fight to get back on track so that he doesn't have this happen again, and that is just keep landing those shots, but to take some off of it. Like, don't do more power, have more quantity with the, and then mix in the power because he drained his gas tank by the end of the second round just by trying to do too much power shots. And I would say do that. And for Bestaev, even though he won, I would say get a little bit more of that boxing jabs going, and then to keep using your distance. Whenever he used the distance and then he rushed in the clinch and used the knee, that's when he had his best time. So I would do that and move on with that. But let's move on to the second fight on the card. We had a heavyweight matchup that saw Davion Franklin defeat Everett Cummings by first round TKO punches. This was a very quick fight, lasted no more than 30 seconds. Basically, what happens was Everett Cummings came in, threw a kick to the leg of Davion Franklin. Then Davion Franklin, who usually rushes in and attacks very fast, was very patient to start the fight. He came in and hit a oblique kick to Cummins down low that kind of pushed him back and hurt him. And then that's when Franklin struck with a leg kick, high leg kick to the head of Cummins, which got kind of blocked. But then he quickly came at him again with a punch to the face and another punch to the face. He had Cummins rocked. Cummins fell to the ground, and that's when Davion Franklin threw a right-handed shot right to the face of Cummins that just basically knocked him out. He threw a couple more shots before the ref called for the action to stop, and with that quick stoppage, 40 seconds in, Davion Franklin defeated Everett Cummings by first round knockout to continue his 4-fight winning streak since joining Bellator. This is a guy that can show it all. He has wrestling, he has the boxing, he has the striking. This is a guy that could be a threat in the future in the heavyweight division. I think he needs 2 or 3 more fights before you could see him in that top 5 of the heavyweight division uh, in the rankings. But keep a watch out for Davion Franklin because he has all the tools to become a future champion in Bellator. Moving on to the third fight in the card, which was probably the fight of the night to me and to everybody else. And we had a bantamweight matchup which saw Raufeon Stots defeat Magomedov by unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, 30-27. This was high level MMA action right here. This was a great showing by both fighters. First, he had in the first round, basically all fight, you had these guys just trading a couple shots here and there, but the action of all 3 rounds in this fight was just these guys trading takedowns and then trading positions and trying to get submissions on each other. But in the first round, it was basically you had Magomed who tried to shoot on Stots, but Stots was always ready for it. He was able to jump back, and then when he did get taken down, he was able to reverse it right away and get on top of Magomed and Magomedov. And I thought the first round was kind of close, but you had Stots, who I thought took it just for the fact that his shots were more dangerous and more impactful. As you see there, he's throwing a left hand at Magomed in the picture. I thought there was a couple shots late that just sealed the first round for Stots. And then the second round, Stots got a takedown on Magomed, and then Magomed got a takedown on him. But Stots was able to reverse it, get on top of Magomed, and then he actually, you thought he was having a submission attempt at first, but then they were able to reverse it on each other, and then they were just trading shots on the feet. You had Stots throwing the jabs, and then you had Magomed throwing the leg kicks. It was another round where it got to the ground, and then I gave the edge again to Stots. You could have gave this one to Magomed just because he did a little bit more volume wise, but at the end of the day, the Stots once again had the more impactful shots. And then in the third round, Stots got Magomed down, and then he threw a couple shots. He hit him with a nice left hook that stunned Magomed, but the more the action from Stots was getting Magomedov down to the ground and locking him in the rear naked choke that he had him in for like a minute or two, where you thought that he was going to actually submit him, but he wasn't able to. Then he wind up giving it up because his arms were probably starting to hurt him, and then that's when he let go, and Magomed was able to reverse it and get on top of Stots. And then with a minute left, he took his chance at a choke, but never materialized. And Raufeon Stots was able to get up and avoid everything. And then that basically how the fight ended. It was a lot of them trading positions, throwing strikes here and there. But this was like a chess match of a fight. And at the end of the day of this chess match, Raufeon Stots got the better of Magomedov just by being the guy that was pressuring in the fight. He was the one moving forward. He was the one dictating action. And because of that, Raufeon Stots defeated Magomedov by unanimous decision 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, this was basically a one-sided affair. In this welterweight matchup, you had Andrey Koreshkov defeat Sabah Homasi by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-26, 30-26. Early on, you did get a little of Sabah Homasi at getting into the clinch of Koreshkov and just pushing him against the fence and throwing some strikes on him. But I felt like he was just not in this fight. He was just outclassed. If you watch the fight after that point, it was all Koreshkov. And in the first round and a half, all he needed to really use and utilize was his flying knee shots, which he connected on 9 of 9 in the first round and a half. And then he mixed in a little bit of the striking into it, the lefts, the ones and twos. And once the first round ended, like you knew it was Koreshkov just by a little bit because of the action in the last 2 minutes. Then the second round, it was a little bit more the same. He was throwing the high knees at Sabah Homasi, and then he mixed in the clinch into that. Halfway through the second, he was able to catch Homasi, and he basically picked him up, threw him down with a slam, and just started holding him down and throwing shots at him on the ground, which eventually was reversed, and then Homasi got up. But Koreshkov once again was throwing the ones and twos at him. Then in round 3, it was just a complete domination of strikes to Homasi from Koreshkov. That at one point made him fall down to the ground because he was getting beat up, and then Koreshkov was jumped to the back of him and started landing more shots, more strikes, and just kept on pouring it on. And at the end of the fight, like I was surprised that Sabah Homasi was able to withstand the barrage all fight of Andrey Koreshkov, because he was able to make it to the bell, finish the fight. But at the end of the day, Andrey Koreshkov defeated Sabah Homasi by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-26, and 30-26. I think this was a statement fight for Andrey Koreshkov after losing 3 of his last 6 fights. He needed to get back into a groove, and this was a perfect fight to do it. He like I said, this was a statement. He wants to get his title back. I don't know where he goes from here, because you got Michael Page fighting Douglas Lima in a month or two in across the pond in London. Likely to see maybe who fights Yaroslav Amosov. I could see Koreshkov going after him, but like that's a guy that he's fought, and I think he'd like to fight somebody else. But I I could see Koreshkov taking another fight, either waiting for the winner or loser of the Page and Lima fight. But he's definitely looking to get back to that number one contendership, and this is the perfect showing from him that proved that he still has it, and that he is still a beast and a dark horse in this welterweight division moving forward. Moving on to the main event of the evening, this is why we're here. We had the middleweight championship matchup that saw Gegard Mousasi, the champion, defeat John Salter, the number one contender, by third round TKO punches. This was a good fight for the first couple rounds. In the first round, basically, John Salter had his way. He was able to get to Gegard Mousasi and take him down and pressure him on the mat, push him against the cage, and then throw strikes, and then just do what he does best, and that's wrestle, control the guard, control the time, and then throw shots at him. But you could definitely tell with the pressure that he was doing, like, and Musashi would get up, and then Salter would get him against the cage and try and get him down again. And after the first round, you could tell that Sartor was getting tired, because he was doing a little bit of the same in round two. But in round two, Mousasi was able to kind of take over with his jab and his strikes. And then he was able to get Sartor to the mat. And then Sartor was able to reverse once, but he didn't have much to it. And then you had Mousasi, who was landing more shots again. After round two, it was 1-1, and then round three, it was just the light switch hit on Musasi, and as Salter was moving slowly, and he went for a takedown, he got stuffed, and then basically Musasi and hit him with a nice jab. He stunned Salter. He got him to the ground, and then he finished him off with the ground and pound punches until the ref stopped the fight. And then you had Gegard Mousasi defeat John Salter by third round TKO punches in his first title defense since winning the belt a couple months ago. But it was basically a good showing by Mousasi. He knew that he needed to finish Salter, because Salter, the longer the fight went, the more of a pest John Salter would have been, because he would have tried to just keep the fight to the ground on Mousasi. But Mousasi did say that he was going to come in. He might get taken down once, but his takedown defense was going to be his bread and butter in this, which it was, minus the one takedown in the first round. And he was able to withstand everything John Salter had to offer in the first couple rounds until he got tired, and then that's when he capitalized with the third round knockout. This is the type of guy that Mousasi is. He defeats you with the jab, the takedown defense, and the adrenaline. He has good cardio. And just like I said, he showed it, and we already have a taste of who's next on his agenda. When Austin Vanderford came to the cage, and they announced that Gegard Mousasi's next title defense will be against Austin Vanderford, which is going to be a good matchup because you got another wrestler coming in. I think he presents a different background, because he can also trade, and he's not going to tire out, and like John Salter did. So I'm looking forward to seeing when they get that booked. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, once again, in this middleweight championship matchup, Gegard Mousasi defeated John Salter by third round TKO. And that's how the show closed out, with the stare down between him and Austin Vanderford. But great showing by Gegard Mousasi. And he's just a guy that everybody always forgets about, but he has been able to keep on doing this in whatever company he is, whether it's UFC, Bellator, or on the regional scene. He just keeps winning and keeps holding titles. But that'll wrap things up for this Bellator 264, Gegard Mousasi versus John Sortor recap show by yours truly, D-Bake. Before we get going, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, 99 Jersey. All you gotta do is go to www.99jersey.com. Check out all the jerseys that they have on there, and then even use promo code SportsBoxShow20 at checkout so you can receive 20% off your purchase. Then we got Oddsjam. All you gotta do is go to the link in the bio, click it, sign up to Oddsjam, and watch as you never lose a bet again. And lastly, we got High Tide Herbal. All you need to do is go to www.hightideherbal.com, put promo code CageMyIQ10 in, and watch as you see 10% off your next purchase. All you need to know about High Tide Herbal is it's a company owned by coaches and athletes that specialize in speedy recovery. All our products have CBD oil in it, and then just as I said before, the goal with the High Tide Herbal is to help athletes recover faster, and their products show it. I use the soap, and I even use the the gummies that they have for sleeping. If you have sleep apnea, or if you have trouble sleeping, High Tide Herbal is the way to go. And once again, use promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase. Thank you guys for tuning in for this recap show. Once again, Cage My IQ is the best place for MMA content. And as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at the handles to the left. And tune in next week as we get ready for Bellator 265. And then that is it. Once again, I'm your host, D-Bake, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to hit the like button on this video and let us know what you think of the recap and what you thought of Bellator 264 in the comment section. Have a nice night, guys.